Something is stealing your life, right now, second by second, and you can't feel it happening. When you were a kid, summer lasted forever. You could catch frogs, build forts, start wars, make peace, and come home, and it was still only 2 in the afternoon. Now, you blink and it's Friday. You blink again and it's next year. Another birthday. Another decade. Gone. And here's the disturbing part. It's not because you're getting old. It's because your brain is getting too good at its job. And the reason why? It connects directly to one of the darkest laws in the universe. Stay with me. Because once you understand what's actually happening inside your head, you're going to want to change everything about your life. We have this intuition that time is steady, like a river flowing at the same speed for everyone. A giant clock on the wall of the universe ticking away. 1 second for the baby, 1 second for the old man. But nature doesn't work like that. Nature is far more absurd. Einstein taught us that time is flexible. It stretches, it squashes. But we're not talking about rockets near the speed of light today. We're talking about something happening right now inside your own skull. To understand why time flies, we first have to ask a very simple question. How do we even know time is passing at all? Imagine you're in a perfectly white room. No clock, no windows, nothing changes. The air doesn't move. The light doesn't flicker. Does time pass? You might say yes, but how would you measure it? If everything looks exactly the same as it did a moment ago, there is no distinction, no history, no record. In physics, we measure time by change. We measure time by the rearrangement of matter. Now drop a drop of ink into a glass of water. Watch what happens. The ink swirls, it spreads. It creates these beautiful, complicated clouds moving from order to disorder. That process, that movement from organized to mixed up, that creates an arrow of time. That creates a history. Your brain does the exact same thing. It is a machine that records the swirling of the ink. It records change. And here's where everything starts to make sense and get terrifying. Think of your memory as a movie camera, but not a normal camera, an intelligent camera. One that decides how many frames to record based on how interesting the input is. When you are 5 years old, everything is new. The way sunlight hits dust floating in the air, the way a dog runs, the taste of a strawberry for the first time. Your brain has never seen any of this before. So the camera cranks up. It starts filming at 120 frames per second. It captures every single detail, the texture, the smell, the sound, the light. It's writing down a massive amount of information because every single second is unpredictable. Every second is different. Now fast forward. You're 40. You wake up. You brush your teeth. You've brushed your teeth 10,000 times. You drive to work. You've driven that road 3,000 times. You sit at your desk. You know exactly what your boss is going to say before he opens his mouth. Your brain looks at all of this and says, I already have this on file. I don't need to waste energy recording it again. So the camera slows down. It drops to 2 frames per second. A snapshot of you brushing your teeth. A snapshot of you arriving at work. A snapshot of dinner. Everything in between. Cut. Now here's where the illusion kicks in. When you look back on your life, you play both movies back at the same speed in your head. The childhood movie was shot at 120 frames per second, so when you watch it, it plays in slow motion, rich, detailed. A single afternoon stretches out because there is so much stuff packed into it. The adult movie was shot at 2 frames per second. When you play it back, it looks like one of those old silent films where everyone is running around frantically. Zip, zip, zip. A whole week disappears in a blur. And that is why time feels like it's speeding up. It's not. You're just recording less. But why does the brain do this? That's the real question. And the answer takes us straight into the guts of the universe. Everything is made of atoms. You, me, the air, the screen you're looking at. And these atoms are always jiggling, always bouncing against each other. Imagine a box of gas, billions of molecules whacking into each other. If you start them all in one corner, that's order. That's a special state. But very quickly, they spread out until they fill the entire box. That's disorder. That's high entropy. Nature loves high entropy. Nature loves to mix things up. It is very easy to mix things up and very hard to unmix them. You can scramble an egg. You cannot unscramble it. Your brain is a physical system fighting against this. It is trying to make sense of the chaos. It is trying to find order. When you are young, the world looks like high entropy. Lots of disorder. Lots of things you don't understand. Your brain has to work furiously to map it all out. It is physically rewiring itself to accommodate this new reality. This takes massive energy. This takes enormous effort. And that high-intensity processing, it marks the passage of time heavily. Every moment feels significant, because every moment is costing your brain real energy to process. But as you age, you build a model of the world. You create predictions. You create order inside your head. And here's the cruel twist. While that order feels safe and comfortable, in the eyes of physics, order is the thief of time. If this is making you uncomfortable, good. Drop a comment saying my brain is being robbed, because it is. Now let me give you a different way to see this, one that deals with how we actually experience space-time itself. In physics, we don't think of time as a flowing river. We think of space-time as a block, a solid block of existence, past, present, and future all existing together. Think of it like a sausage, a long sausage. If you slice it, each slice is a moment in time. Now look at the sausage of a young person's life. The ingredients are wild. One slice has a chunk of pepper, the next has garlic, the next has a completely different texture. Every slice is distinct. You can look at any slice and immediately say, this is the day I fell off my bike. This is the day I tasted ice cream for the first time. Now look at the sausage of a routine adult life. It's processed meat. It's uniform. Every slice looks exactly like the one before it. If I show you slice number 4000 and slice number 4005, you cannot tell the difference. They are identical. The physics of information, if two states are identical, they are effectively the same state. So your brain merges them. It takes 5 years of routine, 5 years of the same commute, the same breakfast, the same conversations, and it squashes them into one single thin slice of memory labeled work. You didn't lose the time, you just didn't record it. You didn't give the atoms a chance to jiggle in a way that was worth saving. Here's the paradox that should keep you up at night. We spend our entire lives trying to get our act together, organize our lives, stabilize careers, get into a routine, reduce the stress, reduce the chaos. But by reducing the chaos, by reducing the unpredictability, we are hitting the fast-forward button on our own lives. We are smoothing out the texture of reality until it is so slippery it slides right past us without any friction. Friction. That's the key word. When you're young, life has friction. You don't know what you're doing. You're bumping into things, making mistakes, getting embarrassed, getting excited. That friction generates data. It stretches time. Every moment has weight because every moment is new. When you're older and comfortable, you are frictionless. You glide through the day on autopilot. And because you glide, you don't feel the movement. Think about that. Relativity tells us that if you move fast through space, you move slow through time. But this psychological relativity works the opposite way. If you move mentally fast through your day on autopilot with zero resistance, you move fast through your life. And here's the most terrifying part. The universe is heading towards something called heat death, a state of maximum entropy where everything is the same temperature and nothing interesting ever happens again. That is the fate of the universe. But you don't have to let that be the fate of your mind before your body actually quits. Understanding the mechanism means we can hack it. We can fight back. If the brain measures time by the density of new information, then the solution is obvious. It is not about living longer. It is about making the time you have feel longer. You have to inject chaos back into the system. You have to force your atoms to jiggle in new patterns, drive a different way to work. It's inefficient. It takes longer. Good. That's exactly the point. You want it to take longer. You want your brain to wake up and actually look at the street signs again. Eat something you've never eaten. Talk to a stranger. Walk through a neighborhood you've never been to. Learn something that makes you uncomfortable. A new language, a new instrument, a new skill that makes you feel like a beginner again. Every time you do this, you are resetting the frame rate of your camera. You are forcing your brain to say, wait, I don't know this pattern. I need to record this at 120 frames per second, and suddenly the afternoon stretches out. Suddenly you are back in that summer day of your childhood, rich, detailed, alive. It is uncomfortable, Novelty is always uncomfortable because it requires energy. It increases the metabolic heat in your brain. But that heat, that is the feeling of being alive. So here is my challenge to you. Don't let tomorrow be a copy of today. Don't let your brain compress your life into a single frame. Go out there and make some noise. Confuse your own circuitry. Force your brain to wake up. Because if you don't, you'll blink and the show will be over. This world is a fantastic, crazy, complicated place, filled with layers upon layers of mystery, and the biggest tragedy is walking through it with your eyes closed because you think you've seen it all before. You haven't. You really haven't. If this made you realize you've been sleepwalking through your own life, smash that subscribe button. Because here at the Curiosity Beast, we expose the uncomfortable truths about the universe and about yourself that nobody wants to talk about. Drop a comment telling me the last time you did something completely new and how it made you feel. I want to know. I'll see you in the next one. Stay curious, Beast.